Hey guys, it's Sarah, founder and CEO of Clover by CLOVE HALLOW. So when we first announced that we were switching our focus from CLOVE HALLOW's makeup line to Clover's makeup line, I asked you guys if there were any questions that you had that I could answer, and you guys submitted some really good questions. So today I'm gonna do like a little, tutorial of like a look using Clover while also answering your questions. I have a sheet in front of me. So let's go ahead and get started. And I apologize if I am sniffly or coughing or sound hoarse. We have a toddler at home and I am pregnant, and so I am sick all the time. If any of you have kids, you know the drill. Today I want to do a simple, light, fresh makeup look. It's very work appropriate. It's very similar to what I do basically every single day. The first question we're going to answer as I do my foundation is, will Clover be getting a rebrand? So I'm gonna apply this and blend it in using a dense kabuki brush. That's my favorite way to apply, although I do also like using a sponge. So will Clover be getting a rebrand? This is a great question. When we launched CLOVE HALLOW and then subsequently launched Clover, we knew that the brands needed to be different enough, you know what I mean? So Clover was always meant to be more fresh and young and playful, and CLOVE HALLOW was always meant to be more like glam and sophisticated. I think we pulled that off. However, now that we're going to be focusing the makeup side on Clover, it is important to us that we sort of meet in the middle, so to speak. So while it will always be girlier and more playful and more fresh-faced, I want it to be more youthful than I do young, if that makes sense. I do think there's a difference. So yeah, we're going to be elevating Clover, and we're actually currently in the process of doing so with new imagery, new copy, new all sorts of things. And future product releases will be really targeted towards our target market of, it's really 25 to 45 is our core Clover market, although we do have quite a few customers who fall outside those parameters as well. So this is Camo Cover. I love this formula. It is not a swap for Conceal and Correct. That's not to say if you use Conceal and Correct that you wouldn't also like this product, but it's not a one-to-one swap. The texture on this is like very thick and creamy. You can see that. And it's very full coverage. So like this is the amount that I'm gonna use under my eye, like a teeny tiny amount. I'm gonna tap that into the dark spots, the hollows. As I get a little bit older, I find that the trick is just to simply use less product and put it only where you need it. So, we don't usually need concealer right under our eyelids, and that's where most of our fine lines are, so I avoid putting product there now. Do you guys see how good my skin is looking? This is what I love about this foundation and concealer combo. I know that a lot of people were heartbroken when Liquid Skin Tint from CLOVE HALLOW was discontinued a few years ago, and we had like a replacement set to launch before we made this decision in the bigger brand portfolio to switch focuses. I actually like this formula better, and it makes sense because I've had more time to work on this one. Like I kind of took lessons learned from Liquid Skin Tint and applied them to this formula. I think the coverage is better. I think it's more versatile because it's more of like a skin neutral finish, so you can really mattify it further or you can really make it dewier. It's just kind of neutral on the skin. I like this better. So if you were a Liquid Skin Tint stan, you need to give this a shot. Okay, so let's move on to cheeks now. I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite products in the whole line, which is our Press Silk Blushing Balm. I absolutely adore this product. Next question is ingredient and formulating standards. So how is it different from what we've built CLOVE HALLOW's values upon to you as the consumer? This is a really great question. So in the very early days of CLOVE HALLOW, the brand values were very focused on being like as natural as possible. Over years, we have published a lot of information with you guys about why we don't feel like that is the most shrewd approach to formulating any longer. for us. That's not to say other brands who do that, it's not the right decision for them, just for us. So the long and short of it is, if you have been buying Clove and Hallow over the last year and a half or so, the formulating standards between the brands are basically the same. So yeah, I think you would be totally fine with our products. If you got into Clove and Hallow in the very beginning and that is what you're looking for, is like something that's like truly all natural, which again is not our company goal and hasn't been for a long time, then Clover's probably not for you. Specifically, we skip a ton of ingredients. We don't use parabens, we don't use phthalates, we don't use synthetic fragrance, we don't use talc, bismuth, oxychloride, certain sensitizing ingredients, cyclical silicones, things like that. And there is more information about that on our website. I think the only difference ingredient-wise that you would be able to pinpoint between the two brands at this point is that Clove and Hallow used more organic ingredients, and we have no intention of doing that with Clover for a couple reasons. The first is price point, by virtue of needing to keep price down, and organic ingredients are absolutely more expensive. That's just not in the budget. Secondly, though, sustainability is really like the key thing for Clover, and organic farming is often incredibly unsustainable. It might be healthier to a degree. That's not even a guarantee. There's a lot of loopholes, but it's not efficient for the environment and for our resources. So, and that's also a generalization. There are a couple organic farms and organic resource suppliers that are doing really cool things, but just generally speaking, that's the truth. So now I'm gonna add some really subtle glow to my face, and this is why I love the Skin is In foundation, because it has that skin neutral serum where it just looks like skin. I can add controlled glow back in. Whereas I think when I was using dewier foundations, I just kind of looked like I was sweating a good bit of the time. And I think that is beautiful on some folks. I just started seeing like photos and videos of myself and being like, something's wrong here on me personally. So I prefer to just add this glow back in a controlled manner, like so. So as you can see, there's just like a really pretty subtle glow. And some of that is actually coming from the blushing balm, because it does have a sheen and like a balm texture. So it's kind of a combo. For eyes, I'm going to use our Plush Pigment Stick in the shade Sandstone, which is kind of like this light champagne shade. That's a little bit more true to color. Yeah. So the next question is Clove and Hallow ever coming back at all? So Clove and Hallow, as you know it, selling the products we've sold as the brand you've come to know and love, and I appreciate that. No, that is never coming back. We will never do makeup again. We will never look the exact same, anything like that. If we come back in the future, and I say if in the sense of, so just try not to get ahead of myself, because I have no clue. The last 2 years have taught me that I have no clue what's gonna happen with the world and life. So our plan is to come back as something in the beauty industry. I can't really give you more info than that, because what we want to do, which again is not makeup, has never been done before. So before I go further and talk about it and sort of share what we're doing, I need to protect our intellectual property and make sure that everything is like safe. I cannot thank you guys enough for being so incredible during this liquidating sale, for being so supportive during this process. You guys have reached out to me personally so many times to check in on how I'm doing. And the truth is, it is absolutely bittersweet, but the excitement I feel about what's lying ahead just bulldozes over that feeling so much, because I don't know, I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. The next question is blank. And the blank is a specific product coming over to Clover. So I'm just gonna address the ones that I've received the most. So I just did like some very, very subtle shading, nothing crazy. So the first one that I get a lot is Liquid Skin Tint, is a replacement or a variation of Liquid Skin Tint, whatever was going to be launched for Clove and Hallow before this change. going to be launched with Clover? And the answer is what we had slated to launch is not going to launch. However, Liquid Skin Tint and the Skin is In foundation, I think, are a good swap. I also heard a lot about the refill blushes from CLOVE HALLOW. This is another one where I think you could very easily get away with swapping for the Pressed Silk Blushing Balm. They're not one-to-one product exchanges, but they have similar strategies on the skin. Like they both offer glow, they both offer kind of like a sheer to buildable coverage, and I personally prefer this formula anyway, so I would definitely recommend giving this a whirl. And then the last one we get questions about is the refill eyeshadows. I would love to bring refill shadows, or at least that formula that we launched at CLOVE HALLOW, over to Clover. The issue is, and while I talk, I'm gonna do my mascara. The issue is those shadows we made in-house. So we're not making any Clover products in-house because we don't have the capacity to make enough volume for the size of retailers that we are currently working with and launching with next year. So I just need to figure out like the right manufacturer to do the right formula, to take our formula and expand it. But I would love to bring that line over eventually because it is fantastic. I completely agree with you. And so I'm just gonna hop into the next and last question, which is my straight up top 3 favorite products in Clover. And it makes sense to jump into this right now because I'm using one of them. So this is our Maxed Out Mascara. It is not a swap for FlexLash. FlexLash, if you love it, is a very like gentle, natural looking mascara. That is not what this formula is. So what I think makes this mascara so incredible is the double-sided wand. Let me see if I can get a good angle on it. Okay, so you see how the top is sort of like further apart spikes and the bottom is more like a comb? The bottom side, the comb side, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just like more of a, there's more spikes. That's gonna give you fluttery lashes like what I did in just one coat. I'm gonna put on a second one right now. Whereas the other side is gonna give you really chunky lashes. So just make sure when you apply that you're using the right side of the brush. But the formula, it's non-irritating, it's volumizing, it lasts, and it comes off very easily with water, which is important to me because I hate tugging off my mascara at the end of the day. So that's my first favorite product. My second favorite product, as I've already mentioned, is the Pressed Silk Blushing Balm. It's just incredible. Like there's nothing else to say about it. It's such a beautiful formula that gives such a pretty glow. I'm obsessed. When I wear other blushes, I don't like them anymore. That's just the truth. So I adore this. I'm gonna apply our lipstick and bunny real quick. And then my last favorite, I think, would be the last product that I use in a look, which is our Super Slick Lip Jelly. It just like floofed. I use this product religiously. Like I have probably gone through 4, 5 tubes. Not only is it such a beautiful gloss to wear layered over a lipstick like what I'm doing right now just to give some shine, but it feels so good on its own as a lip color. It is so nourishing. It's like a balm meets a lip gloss. It is everything I would want in a lip gloss and more. I'm just obsessed. I wear it all the time and I even wear the clear one to bed. So yeah, that's a very simple Clover look that I would wear and I do wear pretty much every single day. Very, very easy to apply and work with. It looks fresh on the skin. It's not too complicated or overdone, but with the other products in the line, you could easily kick this up a notch to be more glam or bold or edgy. I hope that this video was helpful and I was able to answer y'all's questions. I pretty much tackled every single one I could find and just consolidated ones that were really similar. So if other questions pop up that you'd like me to address, just ask them below and I will do my best. Bye.